Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Age of Fear, the Undead King. As we press on, let's get this up. Now I have everybody sorted out. Interestingly, I've been contacted by the developers, and the developers have come to the conclusion that the Undead campaign is slightly too easy. So, after watching my Let's Play, they've decided to make it harder, because obviously that's the nicest thing to do in the world. Not that I'm complaining at the developers are fantastic people. I just get the feeling that they sort of were watching me and were like, Cornish-Knight's doing a bit too well. We shall punish him. Bring me my beating stick. No, but to be honest, I think, if we're all joking aside, the developers know best what's for the game. I did find a lot of the early missions quite easy, especially once you have the mechanics of how these guys fight down. They become surprisingly easy to deal with. I want to try out these spectres, the Sage. I haven't really used them before. I need to name some of these guys as well. I haven't got around to naming them. So I'll quickly name the vampires. Let's see, who can I bring out of my hat for this? I'm not going to name any of the developers who are still remaining, because they basically earned both Dennis and who was the other person I have? Was it Laszlo? Was it Laszlo? No, not Laszlo. Who was it? I have to look up the name. Basically, two of the people that did really well, who lived through the campaign. I think they have earned the right to be coming back as something slightly better than vampires. So, Asdaf, he can be Asdaf. Rightio. And he can be... Lundorf, yeah, Lundorf. There we go. Now, the developers have been very kind to me with this game. As I initially said, this game had been provided to me for free by the developers, which is very kind of them. I do think it is a very good game, but I will also admit that straight off the bat, if you're expecting AAA title out of this, you're going to be disappointed. This is a really good, solid game, a very good tactical game, and it has a nice array of RPG elements. But if you're going into this expecting AAA title graphics, then you are going to be disappointed. This game, it's basically what it says on the tin. It's a game very similar to a D&D campaign. The graphics are very similar to like the Roll20 online D&D mechanic machine that they use in that particular system. This has the very same like graphical aesthetic, top-down, tactical-based viewing, which is really nice. The game, if you like tactics, this game is great. If you like stuff like Fire Emblem, if you like stuff like I'm trying to think, like the thing is, this is turn-based, it's a bit hard. Like if you I'll think of some other titles and we just press on, otherwise I'll ramble too much.
The undead party moved swiftly and soon reached the humans' camp. The dark night in the forest was almost completely silent, broken only by the occasional sounds of the creatures prowling the woods. Krill quickly assessed the human camp and realized it was probably one of the kingdom's many scouting parties. The soldiers would probably be slaughtered by the vampires before they even knew what hit them. There were many paladins serving in the kingdom's army. The holy knights often accompanied the patrols, and one was present among this group. Krill found out the hard way that the humans were not as easy to defeat as he had hoped. The paladin was able to detect the incoming vampires, and the humans quickly set up a defense against his undead. Krill began to have doubts regarding this battle. But then the vampires' hunger was out of control. There was simply no choice but to crush these soldiers.
Noah, Master. So I can never pronounce the name. So it's like Noe, I think it's Noe. Master of not a human Clipperhead. Krill, good. My minions thirst for fresh blood. Are they from the Holy Church? Yes, Master. Excellent. The Holy Church will hear about me once again. No, the aesthetic that the game has, it's very... It reminds me of a lot like of the old, like... I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it. It's basically a top-down tactical RPG like Fire Emblem in some ways. I love it. It's fantastic. But the thing is, it will not suit everyone. Okay, these guys are sleeping. So what we've got? Monk. That's going to be a pain. The paladin, the monks are going to be nasty because they'll be able to cure stuff. I don't have any mana because obviously I'm running around with the Amulet of Chaos on, which basically is going to zip my mana away like nobody's business. So we need to get these guys up. He needs to go there. Pull her back. And get the zombies up. Thing is, we are in the mud, so we're going to be moving slowly. Yeah, Krill, let's see what his skills are. Okay, unit information. So I did give him, yeah, chaos magic, so it's going to mean that he won't get... Unit starts battle with 0 magical power. We've got Blood Moon, which means that +1/+1 defense, 1/1 attack. Only undead demons are affected. Okay, let's try. Several units have sleep attributes, so I'm gonna just hold one turn. We've got Blood Moon. Oh, that's bad. Okay, I'd forgotten I hadn't got him meditation. Which means that, yeah, this is actually quite a bad thing. I'm going to probably have to pop a healing mana potion. Right, I'm going to probably have to take the... And we've got Poison Cloud, that's really nice. I'm going to probably have to take the Chaos Amulet off because... I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to work. As soon as we hit combat, he's going to be really powerful because he'll charge up really quickly. But without meditation on for him, this is going to actually be a harder fight than I anticipated. Okay. The other problem we have with sleeping units is that as soon as you enter that circle, it goes to hell, basically. It's not particularly... They'll wake up, they'll come at us. It's not a particularly fantastic thing. Spectres are interesting because you can send them through units. The problem is that they're really squidgy and there's an absolute ton of enemies. So if I want to get this done right, I'm going to have to be careful about it.
I'm hiding.
Yes.
Send her down here.
More blood.
Now vampires are powerful if they can keep the attack going, because they can leech life from enemies with every hit, and by doing so, it acts similar to the life drain ability, which is that they will progressively become more powerful the more extra health they have. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get him. They have sleep, which could be useful. I could pop an attack and then cast sleep and get my guys into formation. Or if they get triggered, that won't work. So it will only affect a certain group of enemies. So this is going to be slightly slower, and unfortunately, you guys are going to probably have to watch that. It's unfortunately outside of my control. I would have liked to have been able to just like have these guys moving quickly, or at least pause the game and stop the formation, and then you could have watched. But unfortunately, the recording software that I'm using doesn't really allow me to do that easily. So Yeah,
I'm not dead,
unfortunately that's
am
not
I?
going to be the case. So we're going to go here. No, I do like this game a lot. But if you guys are expecting like a AAA title out of this, you're not going to get it. This is a very dedicated tactical game, very similar to like old D&D games. Right. Now the secret of this is we're going to have to time this just right, because we basically need to kill. We need to kill the cleric. We need to kill both the clerics, really, because they will be able to start buffing people and banishing my guys. Do they have banishment? Bless, heal, okay. So they don't have banishment yet, which is nice, because that's a horrific skill, the breakout. Or maybe it's just, no, it's just the high priest, isn't it? So we should be okay. Right. Problem is this flank is very, very slow. Partly because of, obviously, we've got terrain which is slowing us down 30%, which is not fantastic. Right. They can teleport here. What I'm probably going to do is that I'm probably going to, as soon as the battle starts, I'll drop the Shade into combat with that healer there and pin him. The Sage seem to be relatively disposable, so I'm not massively concerned about them dying or not. I think they may be able to evolve into something nice. I would like to try out the Summon Fiend ability, but it needs 6 MP. Yeah, it's just... This is the problem. I didn't get him Meditate, which is something I really need to get him. I mean, he might get enough experience this battle to get Meditation, and then we'll be in a better situation. Because normally what my tactic with Liches are is to pop Poisonous Cloud, which will basically give us time to get in close. Plus Poisonous Cloud is very useful because it allows us to... you can get rid of a lot, you can clear out a lot of the chaff. You can clear out... Chaff is basically the husks. If you... chaff is like a very old term, which is that to remove the chaff is like the husk. It's like the outer coating on wheat and barley and other grain plants. So if you remove by removing the chaff is by removing the waste product, which is basically
I'm not dead,
the unnecessary
am I?
extras, which is basically what a lot of these 2 health enemies are. It's that they're very disposable,
Hunger
very...
for blood.
How far is that range? Actually, I need to get it up into the middle. They're relatively disposable, rather inconsequential, and as such, we can like focus on doing other things. His mana's coming back up. In some ways, probably this is a good thing that it's taking us so long to get here, because it's actually meaning that he's going to be slightly useful. Right, so if we get him here, because we need to check our field of movement. So where can they go this time? Right. Crow needs to go up here, because he needs to be in range to pop all of his spells. She can go down here, because he needs to buff that group. The zombies need to move up. This is the thing that's going to take the most time, and I'm sorry if it looks like... Basically, the issue that I have is that Age of Fear does not work with my normal recording software, so I'm having to use Bandicam, I'm having to use OBS, and OBS I have real troubles with. To the extent where I can't actually pause it. So, what you see is basically unedited footage, really. I don't have much control over this. I suppose I could do a lot of post-editing stuff. I should probably actually do that, to be honest with this. But no, basically what my tactics for the here is really simple. I'll move that ghoul up slightly a bit more, so they're all within range. Krill, how are you looking for your abilities? Yeah, we can pop that. So who do we have left? The vampires. The skeleton can go in, he can go in. Right, plan of action is really simple. Yeah, basically, we're basically going to move the zombies up, just outside of the range where they could detect us. We're going to charge in, detonate. We're also going to then cast poison on the group down here and hopefully buy us a bit of time. These guys at the back, hopefully they'll break. Hopefully. So now we're really just waiting on the undead. We're just waiting on these guys. So we need to get them up into formation. These guys are really good, but they move so slowly. A commentator on a viewer who commentated basically pointed out to me that in earlier versions of the game, when you got vampires, one of the strategies was literally just to take vampires, because obviously Command Undead used to be a range spell. It made having actual undead servants as having undead servants that you could control using undead control really dangerous. So a lot of people didn't tend to use them past a certain level, which is a shame. Because I actually like the zombies and stuff in this game. I think if you're playing a necromancer in this game and you're not using like zombies and abominations, then there's no point really doing it, because it's like, oh okay, you're playing as a necromancer, but you're just using vampires. It's like, yeah. Right, everybody's in a relatively good position. He's in a good position. Right, so his field of view. The problem is we're just outside of it. It hasn't popped just yet, we're just off, we'll go next turn. Right. This is where things get tense, folks. My lord, the undead are attacking. What for? Oh, you. Have you been drinking again? No, sir. I mean, yes, sir, I'm drunk. But the undead are here. Right. Explode. Plague zombies. Aha, my masterpiece, it works. Well done, master. Plague zombies will explode, inflicting everybody with poison. Excellent. Ooh, that one there. He's dead. We'll have to keep a tally of where. Right, that broke him, and he's going to run. We have to keep a tally of where there's plague zombies fell, because we need to pick them up afterwards. He's going to be down. Shade. He's going to break and run off and die this turn. We'll send the Shade in here to attack Healer. And because we got backstab, we killed him off, which is lovely. Poison mist for all of you lot. And now the vampires, we will have them away. What do we want to do? We probably actually want to do lightning strike on them, because they're metal, and they have really high penalties for taking lightning damage. Oh, they all took flesh wounds as well. Excellent. Deep wounds. Right, so we got the ghoul left and the vampire. Vampire, you go for him. So you get a HP buff. Ghoul, you're going to attack the Royal Guardsman. I was hoping that we were going to... the problem is the Knight's going to charge this turn, which is a problem. Right. Time to summon my fiend. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Your soul.
Broken skull. What did he actually have? Head injury, permanent wound. So we pop open the fiend and the fiend turns up. Nimue, I need you to go here.
I'm not dead, am I?
Okay, I forgot that she has to stay still to use that. You go off to the archer because he's fleeing, because you can get backstab off and kill him in 2 hits, which helps break up their unit strength. He's going to flee off the board because he's a coward. These guys aren't fantastic, so we'll move him here. Ghouls, press the attack. Vampires, press the attack.
Let us humble. Bloody humans.
And we'll go after the cleric. Because if we can break the cleric, they won't be able to heal. Remember, the paladin fell, we'll get him back up on his feet. Ah! Almighty God, grant me the strength, the courage to destroy this devil's offspring. Right. So what actually can he do, this demon? Summoned from the darker circuits of hell, fiends stalk the human world with an unquenchable but lust for chaos, and power these monstrous abominations are known for their purposeless cruelty. Aura, fiery aura, splash damage, okay. Summons Blood Moon, Demon, so it takes less damage against fire but more damage against cold. Okay. So he's fleeing, we'll send the Shade to chase down the stragglers. To be honest, I actually these Shades are really useful because once you have enemies fleeing, they're great just for mopping people up. Send the vampire in. I actually want to get the kill off on her because I want to get the XP for her for doing it.
Ashes and flames.
Noxious Cloud, perhaps. Drain life? No, because I want to get the experience for him as well. So I need to do it in such a way.
Ashes and flames.
Come on.
Ashes and flames.
There we go. Okay, so we got a broken bone from that, which sucks. To be honest, I might not have needed these guys because literally this fight is over so quickly. Alright, get the chest open. Uh-oh, the demon's gone out of control.
Don't run.
It's broken control. Maybe because I struck it, it thought I was attacking it. That's going to be a problem.
Let us hunt. You're so dead.
This is bad.
No.
So we banished it back to the warp. Or we banished it back to whatever dimension it came from. We'll kill him off. Kill him off. Right, that amulet chaos is the amulet of chaos is nice, but I am going to have to make some changes before I use it again. First, he needs to get meditation, just so that he can actually recharge his mana quickly enough at the beginning of the game. Get the zombies back up. Now I don't want to. I can't be. It's not that I can't be bothered. I don't really want to get the paladin, to get the clerics back up, because they won't give me anybody besides mages. And we've got an undead horseman. Yes, haha, from the paladin. Fantastic. Smash that open. Got some nice stuff to sell. I should have checked out to see what that was. There's something in there. Interesting, the question mark isn't showing up above some of the items. I wonder why that is. I'll have to ask the developers. Because it's showing up above the treasure chests, but it's not showing up above the containers. Interesting. Very interesting. That means I've got to check everything manually again. Got a little bit of money. Right. Menu. End battle.
Krill's creatures took advantage of the night to slaughter the human party. The humans had fallen one after another, either torn apart by vampires or killed by Krill's powers. The paladin was the last to fall, but he too was brought down by undead fury. As a lich, Krill had pulled off a victory he would never have been able to before. His new powers were both fearsome and terrible. After the bloodfest, the vampires gathered the corpses into a large pile. Krill knew that even as an undead master, he would still require more servants. Almost all of the bodies were harvested when a vampire said, "Master, this one still lives." "Then finish him off." "No, wait." Krill looked at the body. It was the paladin, still alive by some miracle. "I saw you, knight, in the caves. You killed me." "I wish I could do so again, foul beast," the mortally wounded knight whispered. "You pierced my heart and tore my essence, and I will not let you die so easily. You will serve me in my experiments for a long, long time." Krill laughed aloud, a maniacal laugh that broke the eerie silence of the night. With their bloodthirst quenched, his party returned to the crypt before the coming
So something's
of
up
dawn.
with our bone dragon. Roar, roar, damn you ghosts, damn you all, I am surrounded by traitors. I take it that means we've lost the dragon.
Over the next few months, Krill and his minions remained in the crypt. Occasionally, undead minions caught stray parties of villagers that Krill used to perform his gruesome experiments or to reinforce his undead army. One day, after allowing his vampires to feed on the villagers, Krill had them pile the bodies into a heap in the center of the crypt. Once all of the corpses were piled up, Krill drew a circle around the pile, with the blood oozing from the wounds on some of the bodies. With the circle complete, Krill began an incantation to revive the souls and animate the corpses. As he chanted, the bodies began to twitch and writhe. Low moans of agony escaped from some, while others actually shrieked from the terror and pain. The lucky ones were those villagers who could not be reanimated. Their broken figures littered the inner circle Krill had drawn. Their faces were barely recognizable as human once Krill was done with them. Krill was also able to corrupt a few villagers with his dark arts, turning them into his acolytes. Krill sliced a deep gash into the palm of each of his victims. Then he mixed their blood with bone ash. Once this ritual was complete, he had bound them to his will. Krill learned more about the Undead King from the vampires and ghosts. The Undead King was in the frozen lands, ruling over a vast army of undead. After a few months, Krill had gathered enough forces and prepared them to depart from the crypt. He would be the next Undead King.
So I take it we've lost the Bone Dragon. Yeah, Fuax has abandoned us. Okay, that sucks. It was too powerful for his own good. Ooh, Bone Catapult. Very nice. Dark Acolytes, Banshees, Sage Ghouls, Ghosts, Vampires, Plague Zombies, all that goodness. But we can't really do that now because we're out of time. If you've liked, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button. You can follow me on Facebook. So you can't follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Steam. You can look me up in the comment section and leave a comment. This game is really worth it. If you can just get your mind into playing a good old-fashioned tactical game, this game is so worth it. Wait, no, wrong thing. We go exit. So yeah, I've been Cornish-Knight. If you have liked this episode, please tune in on Wednesday for the next one. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.